Friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. I hope that you're doing well. Got a new oud fragrance for you today. It's not oud for greatness. It's not oud for happiness. It's not amethyst oud. It's not oud for glory, kind of. It's not one of the amber ouds, of which there are many. No. The new oud is this one. It's honor and glory. Honor and glory, both. Technically, Bade'e Al Oud, Honor and Glory by Lattafa. Comes in this familiar style of bottle with a wraparound metal plaque, but this time in white. Because, yeah, I don't know. You gotta have the honor, you gotta have the glory together. So this one is at Fragrance Buy for about 39 bucks US. That is where I got my bottle from. And in today's video, I will let you know what's the deal with Honor and Glory. What is this? What's it smell like? What's it supposed to be a clone of? Is it worth the money? All that stuff. It's linked in the description. Feel free to check it out down there. And feel free to check out all the oud for whatevers. Even though this one is technically not oud for Honor and Glory, it should be what it should say down there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the presentation first, and then we'll start talking about the fragrance itself, which is the most important part. So if you've bought any of the fragrances in this line, the presentation is gonna look very familiar to you. You have this box where you can see through to the bottle on the inside there. You've got Honor and Glory Lattafa up top, and then Bade'e Al Oud down at the bottom. Nothing on top of the box or on the sides. On the back, you have your cool holographic sticker of authenticity, your ingredients, your batch code, and your barcode. So obviously the box opens up like so, and your bottle will be resting right inside there. And then there's also this. Oh, it's like we're doing a Nancy Drew Mystery Time or the Hardy Boys or something. I found a clue. It's a little hidden note. It actually just has the note breakdown on there. So I'll read it to you. A top note, just one, of pineapple brulee, a mid of turmeric, cinnamon, black pepper, and benzoin, and a base of vanilla, cashmere, sandalwood, and moss. Nice. Just hit you, oh, right there. And here we have the bottle. You have that wraparound metal plaque on the front, as always, name of the fragrance on the front as well. You have Lattafa on top of the cap and also on the back of the bottle. And on the bottom of the bottle, you have a little metal plaque as well. Very hefty, feels nice in the hand. Cap slides into place, not snug enough for my liking. The cap is nice and heavy as well. All right, let's go ahead and do a couple sprays and check out how the atomizer works. I will say firmly average. Oh, it's in my nose now. So I'm sure the question on everybody's mind, well, what is this a clone of? And also, why is it an oud fragrance if there is no oud in the note breakdown? Yeah. This is something that we've seen before though with Haramain, with the amber oud fragrances, where they start a line, and it is based initially on fragrances that have oud, and then the line gets popular, and they're like, well, we'll keep using that line, keep using the name, keep using the presentation, but we're not gonna always make oud fragrances. So, does this one have oud in it? Does it smell like it has oud in it? No, absolutely not. It's not. No, not at all, man. Why would you think that the oud fragrance would have oud in it? That's okay. It's okay. So when you first spray this one on, you do get that pineapple brulee. So it's very fresh, it's sweet, but it's not as zingy as a lot of pineapple notes can be. You know, it's not like really effervescent. Instead, it's very creamy and has this almost candied vanilla kind of mixing together with that pineapple. It is really appealing. It's a fragrance that I sprayed on and my wife was like, what is that? That smells great. She actually thought it had a little BR 540 vibe to it. And I think that's just because of the way the sweetness comes across off the top. That kind of, again, kind of almost candied pineapple that you have there in the opening. The pineapple brulee. It kind of gave her that vibe in passing as she walked by. But she definitely took notice, said it smelled amazing. And I agree, the opening is really, really appealing. You get little bits of spice in there, like a kind of a touch of fresh spiciness, warm spiciness, but that's not really the focal point of the fragrance. For me, it's more so that pineapple in the opening, and then vanilla and cashmere, and as it dries down, it maintains that kind of creamy feel all the way into the base of the fragrance. Doesn't get too powdery or anything like that, which is good. It stays really appealing, kind of alluring the whole way through, and that sweetness does stay the whole way as well, so you have to be okay with that. And with that quick description, you may be like, well, I don't know, man, that doesn't really sound like anything as far as a direct clone, and I don't think it is, because it doesn't smell like a direct clone to me. But what it does smell like is basically a hybrid. Two fragrances fused together in a Frankensteinian nature. Something going against the laws of man. Yeah, so it's a pretty much a hybrid. And when you look at the note breakdown and you think a little bit, you go, ah, I see. Essentially what you've got here is a mix of Hacivat from Nishane and Ani from Nishane. Kiss. Oh. Baby. It's pretty much like that. You have that pineapple off the top that you get in Hacivat, but instead of being, you know, as lively, as zingy as it can come across in Hacivat, it's reined in a bit by the creamy vanilla, the overdose of vanilla that you might get from Ani. So it's not quite as heavy as this one can come across to some people, but maybe not quite as fresh as this one can come across to some people. It is a fusion of the two. Bits and pieces of each of these that kind of work together and also cancel out other facets from the other fragrance are put together in here. So you have honor and glory, which apparently means Hacivat and Ani, or something close to these melding together. That's how it smells. If you spray it on side by side with Hacivat, will it smell like Hacivat? No. If you spray it on side by side with Ani, will it smell like Ani? No. If you take pieces from each of these and put it together, will it smell like this? Yes. I'd say the most popular hybrid style of fragrance up until this point has been Aventus meets BR540. That seems to be the one that people talk about the most, that, you know, gets put out there the most by brands. And when I say brands, I mean like brands that just release boatloads of clones, not your more typical Armaf and stuff like that. But it is interesting to see a hybrid, or what I take to be a hybrid, come out right here. And it's done really well and actually ends up making the fragrance smell like its own thing. In terms of performance, is the Lattafa on par with the Nishane fragrances? For me, I would say no. These Nishanes are extrait de parfum after all. They pack a big punch, they last a long time. This is not a weak fragrance, but it is an eau de parfum. It's a little bit out of its class there. And it does project the most, obviously, in the opening and into the mid, and then settles down a bit more. Still yet though, it's a good performer. Off my skin, it'll last a long time. The projection is good, if not great. Good, but not great. If not great is a different thing. Mushmouth. In terms of seasonality, more spring, fall, kind of neutral weather for me. You could wear it during the winter. Summertime, I think I'd go for something else. I mean, you could wear it during the summer, but that's just not really the time that I typically think of wearing like a vanilla pineapple brulee forward fragrance. Probably go for something a little bit fresher. And as far as daytime, nighttime use, for me, either one. So is it worth the price? 39 bucks? I think so. We'll just round up and say 40 bucks in that price range. There's a good amount of things out there that are available for sure, but that's still absolutely on the lower end of things. And for that price point, you get a 100 ml fragrance that has kind of a uniqueness to it, frankly. It's gonna stand out against pretty much any other designer fragrance out there. And it has a really appealing feel to it, you know, really appealing nature. You do have to enjoy sweet fragrances because it starts sweet and it ends sweet. And it is not gonna be the most masculine smelling fragrance out there either. Obviously, it starts with pineapple brulee for like the 10th time. I don't know of too many guys out there who've been like, I need something manly, something really masculine that's gonna set me apart. How about a pineapple brulee? So yeah, unisex, pretty much fully all the way through. Doesn't really lean feminine to me or masculine. Some people may think because of how the sweetness comes across that it leans slightly feminine in the opening, but I think fully unisex here. So there we go, Honor and Glory. I like it. I like it a lot. To be honest, probably rather wear this than the other fragrances in this line up to this point, mainly because I've smelled those ones a million times, but also because this one is at least a little different. So there we go, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Let me know if you smelled this one, what you think about it. if it was up to your liking or not. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.